selecting a candidate key is it should not have any redundant attribute. That's redundant attribute. That's the reason they are also termed as a minimal super key. Let us take an example to understand this employee table. In the employee table, employee SSN number and employee number and emp name, we have two different numbers that emp SSN is employee number, emp SSN and employee number, emp SSN and employee name, emp SSN employee number and employee name, emp number and emp name. All of the above sets are able to uniquely identify rows of the employee table. Candidate key, a super key with no redundant attribute is known as a candidate key. A candidate key is a column or a set of columns in a table that can uniquely identify any database records without referring to any other data. Each table may have one or more candidate key, but one candidate key is unique and it is called the primary key. This is usually the best among the candidate keys to use for identification. When a key is composed of more than one column, it is known as a composite key. A super key with no redundant attribute is known as a candidate key. Candidate keys are selected from the set of super keys. The only thing we take care while selecting candidate key is it should not have any redundant attribute. That's the reason they are also termed as a minimal super key. Here, employee ID, employee number, and employee name. There are two candidate keys above in the table, that is employee ID and employee number. A primary key is being selected from the group of candidate key. That means we can either have emp ID or emp number is the primary key. So we have to eliminate any one of the keys. Alternate key. Out of all candidate keys, only one gets selected as a primary key. Remaining keys are known as the alternate or secondary keys. Consider the below example: emp ID, emp number, and emp name. Here, there are two candidate keys above table: emp ID and employee number. Since we have selected emp ID as the primary key, the remaining key emp number would be called alternate or secondary key. Composite key, a key that consists of more than one attribute to uniquely identify rows in a table is called a composite key. Example, say table sales, we have customer ID, order ID, and product ID, product counter. Key in the above table, customer ID and order ID. This is a composite key as it consists of more than one attribute. Foreign key. Foreign keys are the columns of a table that points to the primary key of another table that act as a cross reference between tables. So normally we have six key constraints that only we are discussed in the beginning in the key constraints concept. Single value constraints. Single value constraints refers that each attribute of an entity set has a single value. If the value of an attribute is missing in a tuple, then we call fill it with a null value. So we are having giving instructions to the user fill it with null value. The null value of for attribute will specify that either the value is not known or the value is not applicable. Consider the above example. Here the driving license number. There are two type of approaches there in the driving license number. Only one driving license number for one person, but for the 8002 ID, they have given two driving license number. It is also not allowed in a single value constraint. And also 8004, there is no value is not there. So we have to give the null value for that driving license number area. Integrity rule 1, entity integrity rule or constraint. The integrity rule 1 is called entity integrity rule or constraint. This rule states that no attribute of primary key will contain a null value. If a relation have a null value in the primary key attribute, then uniqueness or property of the primary key cannot be maintained. Consider the example below. Here the student ID